harder in general, but Debbie Green and Joyce Capowala are both superb setters, and the back row rolls and dives that Pasadena and the Adidas came up with had the crowd roaring. Let's watch now as some of America's most talented athletes put on a show. Remember that both of these squads had been here 2 or 3 days. Pasadena had been there all week. They were tired. They had come through a long tournament. They'd battled each other to a 2 out of 3 game earlier. And yet still right here, when it all came down, the athletes were in great shape, putting on beautiful demonstration that had the crowd on their feet most of the time, really roaring. Good setting, as Debbie Green demonstrates right there. Fine back row play. Blocking was superb. The dinks were great. We talked at the top of this show about how the game has changed because of the 3-hitter attacks rather than the 2-hitter attacks. And watching some of these highlights right now, as you can watch complicated offensive patterns going by. You've got an idea that volleyball is a game where you stand around and watch the ball go back and forth across the net. Watch some of the faking that these girls put on as they battle their way towards the national title. Real concentration on the faces now as they get ready for serves. Watch the serves, too. They're flat, knuckleballs, good back set right there. Ball to the floor and bodies going after it at all times. The serves are hard to handle because they don't come down where you think they're going to. They move all over the place as the knuckleball really starts driving people crazy. Most of them are flat and low. There's a good example of a double fake. 2 people in the middle. Finally, the set goes to the far outside. Pat Dowdell putting a spike away there. Pat was most impressive through the entire tournament. She's a tall girl, and she hits as hard as most men. Joyce Capowala, the setter, going to the floor hard to try and pick a ball up. Throughout the entire tournament, all 6 people on both sides were moving. Great picture right there of a double fake out of the middle. And Flo Hyman, the tall girl, number 7 for Pasadena, was one of the crowd's favorites as she stayed around the field house for a couple of days. She hits very, very hard. And you've got to remember that this is a girl who had a broken thumb only a couple of months ago and has come back now to battle her way through to the national title. Back row play, probably the highlight of most women's matches as they keep the ball in play. Great back dive there as they try and go for a ball. Pat Dowdell's serves were good throughout the entire tournament. Debbie Green's sets, I can't say enough about her. I think she's the greatest setter that I've seen, man, woman, or child of any nation. She really put on a performance. Great digs at the net again. Watch the faking coming up now as 2 or 3 hitters will take a shot at the ball or look like they're going to at the front of the net. Back sets. Good blocking, uptight. 2 and 3 people at the net at all times. That time the spike went out. Pasadena won the first game 15-12. 2 teams changing sides right now as they get set for the second game, which the Adidas finally won 15-11. They only beat Pasadena twice, 2 individual games throughout the entire tournament, but they were battling it all the way. Coach Chuck Irby having a quick talk now with his Adidas team as they get ready to start the second game with Pasadena up 1-0. Good crowd was there, between 3,000 and 4,000 people. There's the blocking again. Strong throughout the entire tournament. Some soft shots used to get over the top of it, but even those were scooped up off the floor most of the time. Side set, hit from the outside. Joyce Capowala, a short setter, pulled a couple of surprises as she did right there. People expecting a set on the second hit, and she pounded away with good spikes. Debbie Green pulled some of the same herself. The men may be the harder hitters, but I got a feeling that a lot of the crowd here at the field house enjoyed the women's match. Look at this great floor play. 2 great dives at a ball that neither of those girls were going to give up on. Pat Dowdell is probably 5'9", 5'10". She dove when the time came, as did everybody. They headed for the floor if that's what it took. Great plays throughout the entire tournament. Hilo, Hawaii next year is where it's going to be. I can't wait to be there. Backward dives. And those are the highlights of the women's match. Pasadena and Maccabee Union are the 1976 USVBA champs. Dick Beeler and Jay Silverman have been very happy to bring it to you. We hope you enjoyed it.